Hello everyone, welcome to the Jargus Ranger Review. This time we'll be looking at the 17th episode of Power Rangers Ninja Steel, Monkey Business. Now already we have a problem because they're reusing a plotline from Season 2 of Mighty Morphin, where you got two of the Rangers who are boyfriend and girlfriend, and they're going to compete in the race for class president, and then they get turned against each other. Lord Zed did this, and now our monster of the week, Phone Pen Z, which is a monkey/telephone hybrid monster. So already I have to give this some points off because you're not being entirely original. That's a complaint I've had about the season overall, just in the back of my mind, where seems it's trying a lot to do these tiny little things from back in the Mighty Morphin era. Just the style. I mean, Victor and Monty are obviously stand-ins for Bulk and Skull, and you have just a couple of teachers who are responsible for everything. But the principal is pretty stern though, so in a way she kind of reminds me of, who was it, Elsa from Dino Thunder. There we go, I remembered it now. But overall, it's okay. Anyway, point is, Calvin and Haley get into a small little argument because he overslept and couldn't pick her up to take her to school. And so they decide to both enter the race for president election, because they're throwing a little shade each other's way. And in their competition, what they're doing is, they just keep doing the same things as the other, just one goes bigger. I mean, Calvin does a bigger poster, and Haley, instead of using balloons, she offers rides in a hot air balloon. Where do these kids get the budget for all this? Of course, their efforts are being sabotaged by Victor and Monty, because of course Victor is the current president, and he wants to remain unimposed and stay in power. And it's a shame too, because they were both offering cupcakes and cake, and they were pretty much respecting each other's opposition at this point. Calvin, he just did it a little bit to be petty, but now he was seriously invested in it and wanted to keep going. He wanted to be president. But then those two idiots put hot sauce on their cupcakes and started a food fight. Why is there always a food fight? So of course that gets them both in trouble, and they say if there's one more shenanigan, they will be disqualified from the election. Now meanwhile, our monster has been spying on all of this, and he's actually been able to record samples of their voices. He even gets Levi's voice, even though he really has not spoken a word the whole episode. So that's kind of a small error there. At any rate, when they first see him, he knocks over some bikes when he's trying to hide and record them. So of course they fight, but he runs away. But not before he can imitate the voices to trap them, hit him with a sonic boom. Not Guile's sonic boom, but just a big burst of air. So he runs away the first time. And eventually what he does is, he somehow is also able to call their phones directly and imitate the voices. He's trying to blame each other for all the events that have gone wrong. But what he's really doing is luring them into a trap, and he captures 3 of them and steals their power stars. Then Haley gets a call from Brody saying it was Calvin who started the fight and he's out in the square. So she and Preston go to confront him, but Mick stops her and says, "Isn't that strange? Just because you heard it doesn't mean it's true. I mean, why did Brody turn against Calvin? Or any of his other stuff? It makes no sense." So when they head down the steps, they encounter Levi, who says the exact same thing. And then Levi gets a call, and he speaks it out loud because it's from Haley, also trying to get him to meet up. He says he'll be right there. So that's when they figure out, yeah, it's a trap, the monster did it. And they feel like stupids for getting all divided like that. I mean, Phone Pen Z thought he could split them up, but now they just strafing that resolve. So Preston goes to free the other Rangers who are just in the alley all tied up, while Levi and Haley go and fight the monster. And at first having a trouble hitting him, so at one point she tries using her ninja abilities to create holes in the ground, but he won't fall in them. So she just does a hole herself and sends herself down. While Levi is grappling with it, The ground opens up from behind the monkey monster and hits him from behind. And just at that time, Preston comes back with the other Rangers freed and with their power stars back. Well, that's because Haley took him back and they all came together. And this time he tried the same tricks again, but it did not work. They even tried to say, yeah, I'm trapped in a monster's body. And he's like, nope, you are just pretending to use the voice. And how they finish off the first form is pretty interesting. First they used the arrows, then another 2 Rangers used the sword to deflect that energy up into the sky and converge. And then 2 more just take the swords and add more power to that ball of energy forming and slam it down and creates this big rainbow ninja star. And it just goes right through him and destroys him. That's a new ability I don't think we've seen so far yet. And it looks pretty cool. Now, we don't see the lion fire power or the Zord yet anymore. So when he does get grown, and by the way, Cosmo says, make my monkey grow. There we go, another great Mighty Morphin reference. He grows and they just use the Astro Steel Megazord and the Bull Rider Megazord. And they destroy him pretty quickly. Now first they have trouble forming the Zord because, he has a supersonic boom and it's holding him back. But the Kodiak Zord makes enough sound to disrupt it. So that destroys it. In the aftermath, they all apologize and Haley and Calvin decide to withdraw from the race because they both think they're both perfectly suited to be the president. Unfortunately for Victor and Monty, they have a trap set up where they're holding a bag full of water balloons right above where they would have to make their acceptance speech. But unfortunately, they withdraw from the race that Principal Hastings announces, which means that Victor remains the president of the class. So he runs up all excited to the stage, completely forgetting his scheme, but Monty's desperately struggling to hold it together because it's too heavy by himself. And eventually it opens up and all the water balloons land on Vincent and everyone laughs at him. And the episode ends. So he does seem pretty happy about it. Overall, this was an okay episode. My big problem is I kept thinking that they were just treading old ground. I mean, they have voices. I know they've dealt with imitation Rangers before like that, though I can't remember a specific case similar to this. And the whole class election here, that's an episode I've seen quite a few times from Mighty Morphin. So, to me it seems like they're treading old ground but trying something a little new with it. It works for the most part, creates an engaging story, and I really like how it's developing, how they're still a really close boyfriend and girlfriend, and it's shown a little more intimately than Tommy and Kimberly back was. So I can't say it's entirely new, they put a new twist on it. Though I do wish they could have made something entirely new. It was still a fun episode, I would recommend seeing it. Anyway, that's all for this time. I'm Jargus Zero. Tell me what you thought about this in the comments. And until we meet again, let that power protect you.